There's no reason to believe Russian forces are about to capture the city of Lyman, which anchors Ukrainian defenses 15 kilometers north of Sloviansk, one of the last two big free cities in eastern Ukraine's Donetsk Oblast. The Russians are trying to march on Sloviansk and neighboring Kramatorsk from two directions, the north and the south. To approach from the north, they have to get around or through Lyman. To approach from the south, they must travel 20 kilometers along a mined, drone-patrolled road threading from the ruins of Kostiantynivka toward Kramatorsk. The Russians have enjoyed some recent success in the south. After a long aerial bombardment and ground siege, they recently infiltrated Kostiantynivka, forcing the city's garrison to pull back in order to avoid encirclement. But the Russians are no closer to capturing Lyman, despite months of effort. They've been trying to bypass the city to the north, but Ukrainian counterattacks keep blunting and rolling back their advances. Small teams of Russian infantry have fared no better while trying to infiltrate Lyman. They've only succeeded in creating the impression of progress. Don't buy the impression. Russian infiltrators sneaking into Lyman from a small Russian foothold in the city's eastern outskirts haven't yet succeeded in dislodging Ukrainian troops in most of Lyman. Reports of new Russian lodgements and Ukrainian counterattacks aimed at clearing out those lodgements are inaccurate. Yes, some small teams of Russian infantry have managed to plant a few flags in Lyman recently. But that doesn't mean the flag planters stayed or even survived. Russia never consolidated in any of these areas, AMK mapping noted. Misreading the Russian flag operations, some observers invented imaginary Ukrainian operations to explain why the overall pattern of confirmable Ukrainian versus Russian presence in Lyman didn't change even as a few Russian flags briefly popped up. Many accounts are inventing a Ukrainian counterattack/clearing operation in Lyman to cover their previous lies/mistakes, mapper Clément Moline explained. Russian forces never took control of any part of Lyman city, and there was no counterattack. The situation has remained the same for weeks, with a very small part of the eastern neighborhoods used for infiltrations, Moline added. Infiltrations continue all around the city, which is not a proof of control. Lyman holds. If anything, the Ukrainian hold on the city is stabilizing as Ukrainian counterattacks north of Lyman squeeze a Russian salient jutting a few kilometers to the west. If the Russians can't eject Lyman's defenders by infiltrating the city, they could partially surround it along its outskirts, putting pressure on the garrison's supply lines and eventually compelling them to retreat. The combination of Russian encirclement and infiltration led to the belated collapse of Ukrainian defenses in Kostiantynivka, but the same Russian strategy is failing in Lyman, for now. It's not that the strategy isn't a sound one, all things considered, but overall battlefield conditions have changed in ways that came too late to save Kostiantynivka, but may yet save Lyman. Namely, Ukrainian forces have radically escalated their drone strikes across the Russian logistical zone stretching 200 kilometers behind the gray zone. New AI-assisted fixed-wing drones and tiny first-person view quadcopter drones wearing range-extending wings have pummeled Russian supply lines with growing intensity since this spring, knocking out hundreds of Russian cargo trucks and sapping the strength of frontline regiments and brigades before they can even attempt an infiltration or encirclement. It's not for no reason that, even taking into account Russian advances through the ruins of Kostiantynivka, the overall pace of Russian gains is down to just 30 square kilometers this month. That's around 10% of the territory Russian troops captured in June 2025. The Russians are slowing down almost everywhere but Kostiantynivka. That includes Lyman, where recent reports of Russian gains were an illusion.
A Ukrainian operator spotted Russian soldiers, fired a grenade launcher round from his drone, repositioned mid-flight, and eliminated survivors with a second shot from a different angle. The Russians decided to attack from another vector and break the Ukrainian deadlock near Torsky, but were surprised by the latest Ukrainian innovation in drone warfare. By mounting RPGs on drones, the Ukrainians found a way to make their air assaults even deadlier. Near Lyman, the Ukrainian 63rd Mechanized Brigade remains firmly in control, effectively anchoring the defense at Torsky through innovative defensive measures combined with preventive attacks against advancing Russian forces. This Ukrainian formation not only maintains entrenched positions, but also proactively disrupts enemy movements, refusing to allow the Russians a chance to stabilize their positions. A striking footage captures two Ukrainian infantrymen clearing a forest near a settlement, encountering Russian troops hiding in a dugout. After intense close-range combat with grenades and gunfire, the cornered Russians chose to surrender and were taken prisoners of war. Facing staggering casualties, the Russians recognized the danger of continuing frontal assaults against the fiercely defended Ukrainian positions around Torsk. As a result, they attempted a new tactic, intensifying operations southwards across the Zherbets River, hoping to outflank and encircle the Ukrainians from behind. However, previous Russian vulnerabilities remain unchanged. Troops must cross exposed terrain under constant Ukrainian drone surveillance, FPV drone strikes, and precise artillery fire. Every movement makes them easily spottable targets that the Ukrainians engage without hesitation. Aware of their limited infantry numbers, Ukrainian forces increasingly implement the drone line initiative to neutralize Russian assault groups before they approach their defenses. Drone operators in this program receive points for eliminating priority targets such as infantry and enemy drone teams, which they can then exchange for large quantities of upgraded equipment, incentivizing aggressive hunting of Russian troops and dramatically boosting effectiveness. Numerous videos from the front line near Torsk illustrate this vividly, showing Russian infantry eliminated by precision grenade drops from Mavic and Vampire drones. Ukrainians have recently begun employing RPG-equipped drones to devastating effect. While traditional drone drop grenades are often spotted and engaged by the Russians, which forces operators into dive bomb tactics that usually compromise accuracy, grenade launcher drones offer a solution through stabilized aiming via a crosshair. One notable video displays a Ukrainian operator identifying several Russian soldiers, firing a precise grenade launcher round from the drone, repositioning swiftly, and firing again from another angle to eliminate the survivors. Such innovations allow even single operators to decisively repel entire Russian assaults even when severely stretched infantry-wise. Ukrainian soldiers praised the new technology by stating that, logically, a drone equipped with a grenade launcher can fly in, fire, turn around, and reload, making it highly effective. Ukrainian operators emphasized the key tactical advantage that grenade rounds arrive almost instantly, and the enemy can't dodge them, which means more accurate hits. At the same time, it can strike from farther away and face fewer electronic warfare countermeasures. Another operator explained that infantry is used to drones hovering overhead to drop grenades, so they can time their movement around the drone's range or shoot it down directly. But if the drone instead starts shooting at them mid-flight, it drastically shortens the window of opportunity to move out of the way or shoot it down. Effectively, these new drones can disrupt each assault by forcing Russian troops to seek cover immediately upon hearing drone sounds, especially given modern grenade launchers' variety of potent warheads that can be used with armor-piercing, thermobaric, and even incendiary ones. Overall, Ukrainian forces near Lyman continue to adapt rapidly, refining drone warfare tactics to overcome their limited infantry and decisively halt Russian advances. Russia's attempted shift in strategy at Torsky, seeking new vectors of attack, failed dramatically due to relentless Ukrainian drone strikes, precise grenade drops, and innovative grenade launcher drones. These advanced tactics have not only stabilized the defense line, but also ensured Russian offensives remain costly and ultimately